Liberty work on Heartland started back in season 5, so a decade ago. And this is kind of a neat throwback to that, because when we first saw Amy working with Liberty horses, that was the Dark Horse audition that Renard was introduced in, and we got to see Amy learning the ways of Renard and working with the Liberty horses. Now, flash forward 10 years later, and we get to see the return of Dark Horse, but it's not Renard, but someone who ended up taking the job that Amy had auditioned for. So this is a really cool story that comes full circle, and it's been really exciting to be able to be a part of that.
I have the opportunity to work. Liberty horses is my specialty, but horse training in general is what I get to do. You know, I grew up in Australia, and my parents managed small sort of cattle stations back home, as we referred to them. So horses were a way of life, sort of on a day-to-day basis. But they never competed, but we were around horses from a very young age. And I always was fascinated with what they did with horses in films. You know, I think that probably my favourite thing to do is to be able to get asked like the unrealistic expectation of horses and find a way to work through that to have those certain moments come to life. I think the most challenging part is not staying like kind of stuck or restricted with what we just know now. I think that in order to continue to evolve in our horsemanship and to get to a place where that we can do, you know, better things in an easier manner, that's probably the biggest challenge. So for a horse to become sort of fully trained, I think with Liberty, one of the exciting things about it is that I don't know that we've ever yet reached what we would consider fully trained. We certainly have a beginning, we have a middle, and I have horses that do some extraordinary things, but to say one is like fully trained, I'm still waiting to find it. I would say in comparison to most people that are here, I would say that we're probably the least experienced when it comes to the amount of stuff on screen. We've been involved more so to do with like a lot of still type productions for photos, magazines like that, where they're typically filming that, but predominantly it has been, you know, the stills. So this is a fun and a great opportunity to get to showcase these horses on film.
Most fans of Heartland know I absolutely love the Liberty work that we get to do on Heartland. It's so exciting for me to be able to work with these incredible horses and have this amazing stage to be able to present what they can do. You know, I'm so lucky that we're able to work with these horses specifically, because Dan's horses are amazing, and we've watched them, you know, from afar over the years, and to be able to have them here on our set has been incredible.
Yeah, so at the top, after she does her entrance, she spins, and then we were going to do one thing where she's on the horse, and you did that thing with your whip where you had that one horse go around you.
Yep.
So do that and then inviting.
Perfect.
The horses don't care about continuity, as it turns out, so it's up to us to try and get them as close as we can. Our editors, however, pull off some magical things to work around our mistakes or the things we can't control. And it usually works out, but it's definitely challenging.
Yeah, so we put extensions in here. Just really quickly, we had not much mane to work with. So then we just cover them up and use a bit of a hair adhesive to keep it down. Because this one's in a bit of an action scene, a really quick scene. Lots of movement. So I get to stay on top of the mane. So this one's gonna double. Got some sweet stunts. So he gets to double the other guy. And he got extensions put in today. I never really thought that I'd be putting special effects on horses when I first went to school, but I'm really glad that that's what I get to do.
As with all Liberty work, this is about getting to know the cues for each individual horse and the training that's already on the horses. I mean, these are amazing performers, and we are so lucky to be able to have them on Heartland. But as actors, we have to learn what makes them tick. And on Heartland, we always use very talented stunt performers to make us look the best that we can be. But I like to be able to do as much of it as I can myself. We were able to put in some practice days, so to speak, and and get together, and I was able to learn from Dan the cues that his horses have and to be able to do as much of it that I could on screen.
Yeah, it certainly hasn't been a walk in the park in terms of getting here. I'd say that, like most things, the background story and journey is sometimes almost the most interesting part. Just to actually get across the border, and that we're jumping through a lot of hurdles, given the pandemic, and as things have started to ease up, we were able to get across, and we got to enjoy Canada. Well, at least Pincher Creek. I shouldn't say all Canada, but Pincher Creek down there, and got to see some beautiful parts. It's one of the very first times that I've had the opportunity to see this part of the country when it's warm. It's been great. Of course, everybody knows Heartland. My family and friends and that, and I know that they'll be very excited to get to hear that we got to come out here to the Heartland, and of course meet the crew and the staff and everybody out here. It's been a real pleasure. He dies very slowly.
It almost looks like he enjoys it.
Yeah.